How's it going, everybody? This is Craig Bush Rocks. Welcome to my channel. Past couple of days I've been watching videos and reading articles about PlayStation and Xbox and stuff, all the interesting stuff going on and stuff like that. Looks like the console wars ain't over with yet, which is quite interesting. It's kind of like a bumpy ride for the console wars. Holy smokes. All the wrong things that's probably going to happen in the meantime. Try to get through this rough patch of console wars and from PlayStation and Xbox. We'll go through some of the stuff like that, but I'm going to say one thing that the rumor mill's going, which I think is going to happen now, that PlayStation's going to launch their system around 2027 along with Microsoft's Project Helix. It's going to come around 2027. So yeah, it's definitely a console war. The prices might not be what we want, but who knows? Maybe the RAM prices might settle down before 2027. Oh boy, good old AI BS, which is something Microsoft is gonna do too for all the consoles and stuff. We'll get into that a little bit, but yeah, but let's start off with PlayStation. Yeah, so they're taking their stuff off from Steam, of course, because the competition that of Steam doing a console and stuff like they got the Steam machine, so they're gonna have a console like deal there underneath the television, kind of like a PlayStation. So it's stealing pretty much their brand because they got their PlayStation 5 and stuff like that. So they want to make sure they keep all the single games exclusives to the console. The multiplayer games, not a big deal. That's gonna go to Steam. So basically, PlayStation's changing that part right there, so that's going to probably end up happening anyways. Also with PlayStation, I think they're being sued by the UK government for I think 2 point something billion dollars. I just kind of glanced over something because of their prices and stuff like that though. Yeah, PlayStation is being sued over their dynamic pricing and stuff like that because of charging different prices for different services for one person to another person. So basically, like me, I play a lot of games. I live in the US, so I don't think it's going to affect the US right away. I think it's in the UK market it's affecting more, but you can let me know in the comments below if it's affecting you. But but basically, give me an example. My daughter and me, I play more games than my daughter, so I buy more stuff probably digitally. So let's say Resident Evil Requiem, just throw a price out there, it's $30 for me. I'm gonna go buy Resident Evil Requiem for $30, but on my daughter's side, because she don't buy a lot of games and stuff like that, so they want to entice her to go buy a game. So she gets on Resident Evil Requiem. You can get this for $15, so you get it for $15. In the meantime, I get it for $30 because I buy more games. So they're gonna charge me more because I buy more. Since my daughter don't buy as much digital product, she's gonna get it for less. That's dynamic pricing. So keep it that way. They do that for ticket pricing too, for when you go to a concert. Dynamic pricing, they fluctuate the price up and down. But I'm trying to think of what else in PlayStation. So of course we already know some of the specs for the PlayStation 6. It's pretty easy to find. You go on Google, look up PlayStation 6 specs, you get rumors and stuff like that. It's going to be up to par with the Xbox Project Scarlet, and so I'm not going to be too, maybe Xbox will have a more powerful system and PlayStation 6 might lag behind on that. We don't know. It ain't about the graphic. To me, it's not about graphical capabilities of the consoles, but the games that they release and how they put it out. Switch 2 is a good example for it. Even though they got key cards, they are still selling a bunch of systems. They are still selling games. As much as the drama that they got going on, they're still doing. They're still selling. It's not like they got a lackluster system going on. They're still getting their stuff out. And plus, they don't put Mario on PlayStation. They don't put Mario on Xbox. Their exclusives stay pretty much in home, to their system. That's why when you look at console wars, you don't look at Switch 2 as part of the console war because they do their own thing. That's just them. That's what they do. What Switch 2 is getting right now, which is kind of affect the console wars in the future and when it keeps going on, because the Switch had it too. Third-party support. If you look at the Switch library, thousands and thousands of games on that system. That's a big library of games for the Switch. But with the Switch 2, they're getting some pretty good supports on it. People are realizing that games are starting to run pretty good on that Switch 2. I guess Resident Evil Requiem runs good on the Switch 2. So Switch 2 could be in the running for console wars. I mean, you look at them right now. People don't kind of look at that as part of the console wars because they do their own thing. But all right, but Sony. So I can't think of anything about Sony. But we're going to talk about Project Scarlet. I guess they're going to put their AI BS into the consoles, which I turned on my Series X to see if they did it with mine. I didn't look on there too far to find out. It looks like the same interface to me, but I have a feeling they're going to put a big update on my Xbox, and they're going to have the was it Copilot and put into the Xbox Series X. I'm not sure, but I know the new console, the Helix, is going to be to me, I'm going to call it a hybrid console because it is unique in its own way, because it's going to have where you can play your games, hopefully physical games on your console, and you can get PC games. So it's going to have a Windows-based operating system on that console pretty much. Hopefully it's a stripped down one, but if they're going to put their Copilot in it, I highly doubt it. So we'll see. And yeah, we're going to find out how that's going to affect everything down the road, because no one likes AI. I'm sorry. Even some of my viewers out there don't get into AI. Sometimes it's fun to scroll through some TikTok and you get some funny AI videos like Bigfoot and stuff like that. Yeah, okay, that's funny and stuff. I mean, I did an AI song for Craig Bush Rocks just for fun, but I don't take it serious and nothing like that. I don't say I'm the biggest artist out there in the world. I'm just saying, and that Copilot on Xbox is probably gonna be used for like, hey, you need help with this game? We got Copilot. We'll give you an AI version of this game, how you can beat it. That's the other thing too. They're gonna have it set up where you can have AI beat your games for you. I did hear about that. I can't remember when it was, but that's gonna get pushed. I know that's gonna get pushed. Yeah, and then we got Xbox putting their games on everything, which I'm hoping. A lot of people might not agree with me. I'm hoping that they keep their Xbox games like Switch. Get them off PlayStation. I mean, I'm a PlayStation person myself. I'm an Xbox person. Forza does not need to be on PlayStation. I'm sorry. Don't do that. Keep it on your Xbox. If you want to sell more consoles, keep exclusives. Right now, for the year, they're kind of screwed unless they want to backpedal on all the games that they're going to put on PlayStation 5. Like Fable. So we'll get Fable on PlayStation 5, but after that initial run of games going on the PlayStation, take it back and put it back on Xbox. We need the competition. We need Sony to step up and do better. I'm sorry, but they need to do better too. Same thing with Xbox. Xbox is not out of the camp yet. They need to get that Game Pass prices fixed, because I haven't heard any changes on that yet. So I'm not too sure if they're gonna change that. Which I'm saying, I'm still not gonna subscribe to Game Pass because of that price. That's my own personal protest. I don't need to do that. I buy my games if I need to buy it. The bad part is you need to be online to play on some of the games for Game Pass. So if I'm gonna do it, it's gonna be Game Pass Core or Starter Set, whatever they call it. That's confusing. PlayStation at least has their 3-step tier, premium and extra and stuff like that. Xbox gets confusing. Like every couple of months they change something about it. Usually it's mostly an increase. Now we're going to talk prices and stuff. PlayStation 6 prices, not too sure. I don't think it's going to go over $1,000 on the PlayStation 6, but I might be wrong. I'm not going to quote on that one. But with the RAM prices and everything. But 2027, to me, on the PlayStation side of it, is too early. That is way too early for PlayStation 6. They need to push that out. Push that out farther. At least another year, 2028. Do something. But so we got Wolverine coming out. We got that Grand Theft Auto 6. Whenever that comes out. I didn't have gray hair back when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. I don't think I had gray hair on my beard. I think I actually had color on my hair. I think I even had hair on my head sometime, a little bit. But I always shaved my head. I think I didn't have quite the bald spot when that game came out. So hopefully in the next century, Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out but that's gonna run pretty good on the PlayStation 6, probably even on the Pro version. But that's the thing about PlayStation 6. They did put the 2.2 or 2.00, whatever the ray tracing stuff, whatever the stuff they did put on the PlayStation 6. Did a nice update with a Resident Evil, with the new Resident Evil Requiem, make it look better on the Pro, which is cool. And hopefully Xbox gets their head out of the sand with our new CEO, that the AI chick. She's saying the right things for some things, but at the same time, um, she's not helping out the cause about AI and stuff. And especially when you call the console a premium console, which to me that's going to be $1,000 to $1,500. That's the projected retail price for everything. Um, but yeah, let's talk about the Steam machine real quick, because that's going to be coming out this year soon. That's why PlayStation, I think, is pulling off all their stuff, because you got the Steam machine, and they're trying like hell to get that price down. I know they are. But Steam can take a loss on whatever they put out. They can do that. They could take a loss, and because they'll make it up in games. That's no problem. They can make it up in games because they know that Steam machine is going to be a niche product for a while. Kind of like the on a Steam Deck. When it first came out, it didn't sell like hotcakes. It sold out because they didn't make a whole bunch of them. But it's not like a Switch 2. A Switch 2 or Switch where it sold tons and tons and tons. Same thing with the Steam machine. It's going to probably sell out. I already know that. That's the one thing I am going to pre-order eventually when things clear for me. But I am going to get the Steam machine because I want it on that TV over there, because that's one thing. Because yeah, they're going to have a new controller. They're going to have a new VR setup, because I want that new VR setup because it is wireless. It's kind of like my Meta one over there. So yeah, I like VR, so I can't wait for that. I like competition, but I just don't like how the bumpy ride is going along. Hopefully, in the next couple of years, things smooth out and RAM prices go down. The AI bubble decides to burst and go get the hell out of Dodge. And they're building a data center not too far from me. It'll probably be 50 miles from me, well, 30, 40, maybe 40 miles from me. Or one of my buddy's house where he lives at and stuff like that. He's gonna have a data center built over by him. The county is trying to fight that like hell, man, because they don't want no data center over there, because everything goes up when the data center, electric and everything, environment type stuff gets all screwed up, like the water gets screwed up, and because of all the stupid crap that they're doing. Yeah, I'm not for that, no. But it's a future that we're gonna have, so we gotta kind of deal with it. Good old AI. But I know the bubble is gonna break. But console gaming is gonna be a lot different in the next couple of years. Hopefully Xbox can start winning for once, and instead of knocking themselves down every notch. It's hard to look, and Xbox needs to not have Xbox anywhere. No more Xbox on your phone, no more Xbox on your tablet, no more Xbox on that. They need to figure it out. The streaming part of it, I think they got that figured out. If they're gonna have Game Pass, they need to get that price back down. As soon as they can start selling more consoles, their marketing sucks. Their marketing sucks really bad. So hopefully they can figure that one out. PlayStation does their own thing. PlayStation for a while there didn't really have the competition from Xbox, because they didn't have a lot of Xbox consoles out there, but they had a lot of PlayStation consoles. And PlayStation got lazy. They were trying to put out 15 live service games at one time. They had to cancel a bunch of them. Seems like every time they get a live service game come on, it gets canceled and doesn't last a while. We know that situation with different games, but now they got Marathon. They charge $40 for it, and I haven't bought that, as I want to play it. I wish it was free to play, like most live service games, free to play. You can put your stupid BS microtransactions in it for people. It's like, okay. We give Call of Duty a bunch of crap, but at least when you buy the game, you get on it. You got a campaign and you can play it. Well, some of the Call of Duty games. Never mind, they screw up too. That was a dumb comment, but yeah, because that new Call of Duty, I guess, is a real dumpster fire from what I'm hearing. Maybe the online game is pretty good, but they do have that they do have a free version of Call of Duty World at something where you can get on there and play. But well, Battlefield did pretty good. Battlefield 6, whatever. But so it's interesting to see what the console wars is going to be like. So I cannot wait to see that's what's going to happen with that. I got my PlayStation 5 Pro. I've got my Xbox Series X. I got my Switch 2. I still got my old PlayStation 4 Pro console, and I got my One X over there, the Cyberpunk edition. Well, I got myself. I got my PlayStation 3. I got my consoles and stuff. We'll see what's going to happen. We're going to have all these $1,500 consoles underneath our TVs here pretty soon. Yeah, at least a few people out there, but it's going to sell out. Can you imagine that too when they launched that Xbox? We're launching a new Scarlet Nexus Xbox Rip You Off edition, $1,400. Pre-order now. Pre-order gets sold out, and you go on eBay. You can buy it for $2,500. Oh man. Well, how about the PlayStation 6? Well, we're selling the PlayStation 6 for $900 right now for the non-disc version, and $1,150 for the disc version. Sold out, and get on eBay. $1,600 for a PlayStation 6. Yeah, so yeah, the future's looking bright, I think, for prices for consoles. But at least we're getting at least it's getting more competitive now. Xbox versus PlayStation and versus Switch too. We'll put them in there. So we need that. We need the fight. We need that bad. Maybe. Oh yeah. Well, Xbox has been kicked so much. So they need to get back up on top. Do something, man. We need an Xbox that's gonna topple over PlayStation. I'm sorry, PlayStation. I love you, man, but we need Xbox to get back up there and humble you a little bit. Come on, Xbox, you can do it. Make some badass games and just release like 3 badass games a month. Hopefully, we don't know yet. Some of those AA games are starting to look better than some of the AAA games. Yeah, some of the indie games, for crying out loud, is starting to be better than some of the AAA games. But but yeah, those are my thoughts and stuff and rumors and things like that. I would show web pages, but every time I get on a web page, everything pops up. But a lot of people know what Google is. They can usually look for it, and they can usually find other things and stuff like that. But hey, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you like, give me a thumbs down. Comment down below. What do you think of all the interesting stuff that I talked about? And, have you looked up some of that stuff? And what do you think? What are the prices, and what's going to happen with AI, console releases, and I probably left out a bunch of things that they talked about, but that's just some of the stuff off the top of my mind right there. What I read and looked. So let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I'll check y'all in the next video. Bye.